to see whether this can sort of reignite that sort of love that he has for the game, right? The grind factor that he has, his burning passion, desire to want to win an FNCS, because I really hope it does. I think this is a great opportunity for him. You know, they're not doing bad. They're in 11th place. They just came off the back of a really good game. They have the firepower. We've seen them performing very well in the end game as well. Maybe this is a sort of a beam of hope, if you like, for him for going forward. And we want to see him. Everyone in EU, we all love him. We were all very sad when he announced that he was retiring, but very happy when he came back. And now he's here. What a story.
Oh my gosh. Also, we can't forget Clicks as well, right?
Yeah.
NA,
yep.
He's coming back. Don't even worry about it. He's putting on a show for us here. Again, though, the job is not done, right? We do have 5 more games, but 5 is going to dry up so quickly, Vivid. So for not only Clicks' trio, but for every other trio, we really need to make sure our strategy is locked tight.
It felt like yesterday I was almost begging for a game from Clicks' trio here to just please make it to the end game as a help.
Locked tight.
It felt like yesterday I was almost begging for a game from Clicks' trio here to just please make it to the end game as a healthy trio. You know, give them an opportunity, give yourselves an opportunity to show your game plan, show how good you are, show how good of a year you've had over on the NAC region. But again, right there, game number 7, a whole night's of rest, opportunity to go over it. Higgs is down early.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's not the ideal start for them. They've made it to the end game, which they've been doing quite consistently well so far. They're not in a bad position by any means. And I think they just need that one big game. Ideally, sooner the better, right? Because they're a team that does thrive on hype. I know Clicks is, you know, one of the biggest streamers, if not the biggest streamer in Fortnite. He lives off of the people watching him. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to have that moment to himself. And that could almost catapult them. That could give them that confidence, instill that confidence back in them for the rest of the games. For them, they've just got to try and make something happen in the end game, more so, as you said. Stay as a trio, make something happen, and hopefully feed off of that hype and confidence.
Maybe that's a VR and getting rallied by like the crowd, right? Like having them to push you over the line to kind of start to build that momentum. But I like what you called out, the sooner the better, right? And it's not even just them, it's everyone, right? These little strategies with only 5 games. Guys, it's only 5 games. If we're going to try and pull out some kind of strategy, if we're going to try and swap our drop spot to land on someone else, it has to happen now, right? Like if we're not in this top 10, we got to get ourselves in there.
I mean, the best time to do it would have been last game, but the best time is now, right? This is the time to switch things up. I think this is an important moment for the teams, right? They've had a little feel as to what the lobby's looking like, well, what teams are doing around them, which is so crucial in the Surge meta. So now they can really make those adaptations. It's all well and good looking back at the games from yesterday. It's a completely different day. Everyone's doing different things.
Yeah, and I'll touch on a last couple of few points here from that game specifically, right? We even saw Venno. He was kind of up on the high ground. He was kind of, you know, tutoring with the idea that he could maybe take it from like 8th zone on some kind of build up for it and actually end up like fighting for it or trying to defend it. But hey, listen, they were kind of thinking about it. And then obviously Kanada's trio finding themselves in the mix towards the end game as well.
Guys, you know I love breaking down things between the games, but I'm getting word it is almost that time to kick back into all of the... Never mind! That's the battle bus, so you know what time it is. Game 8 starts now.
Having a little bit too much fun with it, but you know there's so much fun to go around. We just couldn't keep it all to ourselves, Jacob. So Levin, why don't you give a big hello to everybody here for Game 8?
I had to get involved in the action, Taco. I mean, the games have been way too good. I couldn't watch for too long. I just wanted to jump in for at least the one game, if you'll have me.
I'll have you, bro. We could be here for the rest of the day. We could just put a day 3 tomorrow, and we could just cast all those games. But Levin, this fight, one that's been going all weekend long.
It's been relentless. Prodoxy's trio have had the better of them of late, but can they do it again? We know both teams can do incredibly well when they survive off spawn, but the surviving part is the hardest.
And that's the real issue here, Levin, because Tyson, Chicho, Atris is the most split that we've ever seen both of these teams drop, but we know exactly what comes next. If they're not quick with these eliminations, if they don't clear this out fast enough, somebody else is bound to roll on over.
That one looked a bit different. We're used to seeing these guys get to scrapping straight away. Both teams getting some time to loot up.
And Venno actually got that first elimination onto Coyote. It looked like Yuma was trying to play aggressive and try to clean it up, but Venno just created so much distance, it made it too much of a risk to continue to try to push it down. But back and forth, these off-spawn battles looking to get chaotic more and more so. Tayson almost piecing one up, but they found an exit. Chicho is in a struggle. He goes down. That's the first one knocked, but Prodoxy's down as well. That's going to be a 2v1 situation with Tayson getting knocked. It's all a Trish to try to get away. He's scrambling around. He evens the fight up with a knock onto Pablo.
But the damage has already been done. Gino's just not healthy enough to stick around. He can't even attempt to play for that revive onto Pablo.
And this is why these off-spawn battles between these two teams have been happening so quickly. Both teams are aware that once they take a second too long, this trio is going to roll on in and make it a nightmare. Again, Gino able to get away, and maybe his trio still has hope in this game, but not the start either teams would have wanted that.
And they're still going to have to revisit some other method to reestablish all of that lost surge from those full eliminations. But Gino, still, a bit of a mastermind play there. He knew the fail was the perfect moment.
This is it right now. Uncontested yet again, but the biggest difference from that last game to every other game before, there's more and more players looking up. There's more and more teams ready to contest it. But they realize there's only 6 games left throughout the entirety of the day. 5 now with 1 already done. And their chances to overcome that point deficit is going right out the window.
I mean, watching it on the sidelines, it doesn't look like anything really can get in these guys' way. I think they've showed their ability to still get so many points out of games, even if it's a game where it doesn't quite go their way. One of them still able to clutch. Can anything stop them today, Taco?
And that's the thing, though, is can anything stop them? Not necessarily, but can anything catch up to them? There's nothing scarier, in my mind, than a wounded animal, and that's exactly the position that Peterbot Cold and Ritual had been in after yesterday. But Gabzetta away, Scarpa, they picked up exactly what they needed to. Gino's not going to have that opportunity to try and play hero.
Uh-oh, the third parties, maybe in this case, going to be a 4th party overall. They're trying to move in, Braids, Visuals, and a Minish. They realize with 105 points, that's not nearly enough, or at least not close to what they thought they'd have. So they're now just going on the hunt. Eliminations, 4 points each. They look at Gabzetta, they look at Way and Scarpa. That's 12 possible points. 1 less team in their path, and a chance to try to at least steal away some of this loot and XP.
Thinking about Gabzetta, Way, and Scarpa having priority control right now, though, on the Queen. Braids, diminished visuals. They see just how distracted Gabzetta, Way, and Scarpa truly are. They are lurking. They are creeping up ever so steadily, perfectly concealing themselves. But this is where patience and trigger discipline really come into effect.
But another team. That's a 5th party. A 5th party's now coming in towards the side. So even though Braids, Diminish, and Visuals are trying to lurk and grab some eliminations, surprise attack 1, they could be the ones that's happening to them. But Kadu, Tisco, Striker, instead of going for a lurk, they just immediately take the high ground. They said, hey, if you guys want to rotate out of Ranger's Ruin, you're going to get tagged up the entire time.
I still have no idea about Aminish's team just waiting in the wings. When that opportunity opens up, they will be ready to take it. But which team is going to play their hand first? Who will make that first move and knock the domino over?
Just in a little bit of a stare down currently. Kadu, Tisco, Striker. While they had seemed initially so intent on getting involved, the way that they've now just put everything to a pause, surely this has got to work out for Visuals.
We've got to start to think so, right? We know in this lobby the thresholds for Surge are so high. Time is such a valuable currency. The more time you spend doing nothing, the less time to have to get Surge later on. Someone has to do something quickly, and I think they're starting to realize that.
Oh, but yeah, I think everybody's realizing things aren't pushing. They're not happening as quick as they should. The 3rd parties don't got their opportunity to lurk for elimination. So Striker, Kadu, Tisco, they're going to be the first ones rotating on out. But Arc School and Sauco, look, instead of going towards the south, typically they were fighting that team. Kadu and his entire trio. This time they're pushing up towards the north. Vortex, Goofy, and Mountain are going to be in their line of sight. School missing a crucial shot. They are in the zone, so every second is just more damage being ticked off. Sauco's going to be the first one dropped, though. NA West is now in danger.
Arc, he was doing so much to carry his team yesterday, but School not going to have that opportunity. Vortex, Goofy, and Mountain defend their current hold, but it's also making you wonder what happens to Queasy now that they've been interrupted.
Yeah, this is going to, again, be a real test. Will it be a chink in the armor? Will it be another walk in the park? For our OXR HQ team, things looking like a walk in the park. I mean,